Hello, Jacob. We're going to try to make a tour of the heavens tonight. Waiting for it to get a bit darker, but I thought I'll get things ready. Temperature was 92 this afternoon, and it is still very hot. So I don't think I need to turn the heater on the Seestar. I may have to adjust to rotate my sky cam by 5 degrees, maybe. Yeah, it'll be good. Yep, things are good. We have not had clear skies. This is the first clear sky tonight. I mean, this week. I thought I'll take advantage of it. And this is the season where the Eagle Nebula, the Swan Nebula, Omega, the entire neighborhood of M16, 17, 18 becomes visible to us after midnight. So I plan to be up till around 1 a.m. tonight. We will not see much for a little while. You guys done with school? Hello, Zena. Yeah, so much water in the lawn as well. I tried mowing the lawn today and dug up nothing but mud everywhere. Zena, to answer your question before you ask it, I plan to be up till 1 a.m. We will start with a bunch of clusters, Messier clusters, and then we hop to NGC galaxies and clusters, and then we move on to nebula by midnight. Told Bill we're live till tomorrow morning. Let's see if he joins us. It's my 1 a.m., your 10 p.m. Well, since the weather does not look good the rest of the week, might as well take advantage of it tonight while we can. On second thought, we may have another chance on Wednesday. We'll see. Hello, Toast. Plus, the moon is too close to the sun for us to be able to do much good with it. It is setting as we speak. I'm going to go rotate that sky camera by a few degrees. We may or may not need it. Depends if Mr. Pinto is joining us. All right, let's see if we can see anything yet. We can see trees. That's a good start. Yeah, we're starting to see stars. It is aiming roughly at Polaris. I don't know if that is Polaris. Hello, Otto. Hello, Bill. We're trying to see how soon we can kick off our cluster series tonight. I have the program divided into 3 parts. The first one is a bunch of Messier clusters. M3, M5, M13, M10, M12, M92. See how many of these we can get. And as we approach 10:30 to 11 p.m. we will hop onto, I have 5 NGCs in mind: 6633, 6709, 6940, 6823, and 6811. And midnight-ish, midnight our time, we have one of my favorite parts of the sky, and that's Messier 16, 17, 18, 20, etc. That whole region. So we do have the semblance of some stars here. I don't know that Seestar or plate solve on them yet. Hello, Jeff. Hi, John. John will be here till around 1 a.m. So officially, when did the sun set? Sun set at 8:25. Well, there's nothing to be lost if we try to plate solve. The worst that can happen is it will strangle itself with the cable. Hi, Jeannie. Yeah, there is no moon for us tonight. We had 92 degrees earlier today. It was hot. It has started its shenanigans. It was pointing at Polaris, decided to do a full 45-degree swing around in the wrong direction. Yeah, we do not. Oh, okay, it says auto-focusing. Bob, I have a few videos on my channel that show you exactly how we do it. Let me see if I can get you one quickly. Bob, I'm gonna post a couple of links for you. And while you're at it, please subscribe. We go live very often with an assortment of telescopes. Everything from a 1-inch to an 11-inch. We should be able to hop over to Messier 3 almost immediately. This is Polaris. Okay, we're going to start with M3 before it gets too high. I don't think so, Jeff. I've never seen it resolve it. Yeah, it is an unusually clear sky. I see a couple of clouds, but should not bother us much. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Voila. This is Messier 3. We are a whole 45 minutes ahead of when I thought we'll get our first target. Yes, Bill, it came as a package. I will turn on the dew heater momentarily on the scope. Now, for all of you friends of Pompey, on Sunday, this coming Sunday, the day before Memorial Day, I will be posting a 15-minute video, a documentary on the life and service of Emmett Preston, a local kid who was killed in World War I fighting in France. My wife, who is a historian, spent the better part of the last 2 years researching him and had a video professionally produced that we will be unveiling on Sunday. And after the premiere, I will post a link to it. You'll be able to watch it on YouTube. It's a very, very well made, well done video. So the big premiere will be at church on Sunday, the church that he attended when he was a kid, just over 100 years ago. The church turns 225 next year. The church was built only 25 years after the country was built. And there we go, Bill. Which one was that? Is this a plane or is it a Starlink? Bill, I may have mentioned that part of that research we discovered the fire of 1974 in which, in St. Louis, in which the National Archives were burned down and everything about 60 years worth of military records were burned and gone forever. So when my wife contacted the National Archives to get anything about Emmett, they told us that they have absolutely nothing, and if we have anything, we can give them, because they're trying to rebuild those archives. Has to be a Starlink because there is another one just next to it. Oh, okay. Thanks, Bill. I'm going to try to see if I can get some fresh air into this room because I cannot turn the AC on. It'll be too noisy. We have the Big Dipper pointing to Polaris North, so we're reasonably aligned on the Skycam. I'll be sipping an espresso as well. It does confirm that this is Messier 3. Hello. Next on the list is M13. We'll try to enhance Well, this morning I was driving on Interstate 81 on the highway just outside Syracuse. Traffic was heavy, and I was on autopilot, on full self-drive on my Tesla, and all of a sudden it slammed the brake. It saw what I did not see, namely a crazy guy coming behind me at very, very high speed, and tried cutting me off on the right, came around me on the right and tried cutting me off, and would have clipped me if the car had not slammed the brake. He passed literally few feet in front of me. We went from 65 down to about 40 in a fraction of a second just to let him go through. I have to find a way to equip the Tesla with a hand wave, varying number of fingers depending on the situation. So this is a good AI job. We can go back, compare. Yep. Okay, reset. Let's go back. Next target. So we stacked 10 minutes worth of M3. Let's go to M13. And this is Messier 13. Good evening to you too. Wondering if for the summer I should lower my defaults back. I saw the radar, Bill, and it was not pretty. This is what it looks like. This is Minneapolis. It's a lot worse further south. And we should be clear for a little bit. Jeannie, I don't know if you have spent much time with your Seestar looking at M16, M17, M18, M20, M23, that whole region of the sky. I think you have. And this will be the first time this season that we're able to get on it. That's why I'm staying up tonight. Jeannie, it is the Great Hercules Cluster. You have good memory. Voila. Well, Bob, you came to the right place for astrophotography. If you have questions, we have answers. The crowd that is assembled here, we have among us several hundred years worth of experience. Some of us predate the invention of the telescope. Hello, Andy. That's a plane, Bill. Oh, Bill is a BRB. Okay. Jacob, you're still awake. Good. This is definitely a plane. Jeff, we are all waiting for the S80. I got spoiled with the Stellina being an 85 And then we went down to DWARF 2, which was 1 inch. And then DWARF 3, we went up to 34 millimeters. And then Seestar, the S50 is a sweet spot. I like it. But I don't want to go down to 30 at this point. Yeah, Toast, unfortunately, they no longer make Stellinas. They went with Vespera, which is a much smaller aperture. If they release it near Christmas, that'll be sweet. That'll get us ready to image the next Galaxy season and maybe a Messier marathon for once. Time to see what M13 looks like. Yeah, this is M13. And that is what AI does. They have done a good job with that denoise. This is a very nice picture. I'm going to hop to M92, which is not too far from M13. But before we do that, turn on the dew heater. I know it's hot outside, it's extremely humid. Hello, Dean. Bill, I just realized that you posted the word Gettysburg, and I was wondering what you were talking about, and it just hit me that I am wearing the Gettysburg Marathon shirt. Yeah, I ran this one with my boy. The very first time I ran Gettysburg, they allowed us to run through the battlefield. It was a very nicely designed course, running up Little Round Top in a marathon and then going back down. It was a beauty. I mean, it was a tour of the battlefield. I loved every minute of it. And then the National Park Service decided to kick us out. So now the marathon runs far from the battlefield, and they point to us saying, and there is the battlefield if you look far enough. So I stopped running it. If they go with an 85, I expect everything will be x2 times 2 in terms of weight, in terms of price. It's going to have a lot more glass in it, we hope. Bill, you remind me of that cartoon about resetting your clock for daylight savings. They say your phone, you don't have to do anything with it. Your microwave, just let it keep blinking. If you have a sundial, just move one house to the right. We have an emergency generator, a whole house generator here. We live out in the country. And we had, I think, 6 or 7 long outages this year because of weather. The old sky cam, I'm using a ZWO ASI715, I think. Let me see. This was a hodgepodge job, and I put it up temporary to see if it works, and it has been up for 2 years now. Stand by, I'm gonna send you a quick link about the Skycam. Dean, we have not seen any auroras lately. Sun has been unusually quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Station identification. This is the Pompey Observatory, Bortle 4, although I plan to go out tonight with the phone app and see if we're really 4 or just a bit darker. We may be 3-ish, 3.5-ish. In upstate New York, we're about halfway between Albany and Buffalo, just southeast of Syracuse. If you're new to this channel, please join us and subscribe. We try to go live whenever the sky permits. Thanks for the tip, Randy. We'll try to catch them on a clear day. Speaking of power outages, my son drives a Cybertruck and he plugs the house in it when they lose power, and that thing will power the house and carry the entire house for quite a bit, and then they reverse the flow of electricity when the power comes back. They just lifted the burn ban in Onondaga County. Everything was very, very dry. We're finally getting some moisture to reduce the risk of fires. Well, there is something due overhead. Don't know if it is a plane or a satellite. I can see, yeah, it's too fast to be a plane. We're expecting an International Space Station pass at 10:48. It's gonna start right by Venus. which is here. And it's gonna go just above Polaris and then disappear, gets into the shadow of the Earth. So 10:48, 1 hour from now, we will have an International Space Station. Last time we saw it nicely. We'll see if we can see it tonight. Bob, I ran one marathon in Washington State. It was in Olympia, and it rained for 3 days. No, it did not take me 3 days to finish it, but the marathon was in the middle of a very bad rain storm. I learned two things about running marathons in the rain. One, you don't sweat in the rain. It's an obvious conclusion that I did not know, because when there is 100% humidity around you, as in you're running in the rain, you don't sweat, which explained why we had to stop every few minutes to find a tree, a bathroom, a whatever. And the second thing that I learned is skin expands, which means the legs that were not rubbing before the marathon were rubbing really bad during the marathon. And not to get too graphic, but I was bleeding by the end of the race, having rubbed totally raw. And that necessitated taking measures, as in losing 20 pounds before the following marathon, to avoid that from happening again. M92. No, I think that is Venus, and we have Jupiter with Castor and Pollux next to it. This is Jupiter, and that is Venus. But yeah, Olympia was a memorable marathon for another reason. It was my 10th. And the rules in the 50 States Marathon Club is you can join the club once you finish 10 marathons in 10 states. So I already had my application filled with a stamp on it, planning to mail it from Olympia, which I did. Okay, let's see if we can move off M92 to MSA5, and then 10 and 12 should be coming up soon. So this is M92, not as thrilling as M13. Okay, how high is M5 now? Okay, 35, we're good. Bill, you may appreciate the details of the story with the Olympia Marathon. I discovered I had a business trip to Honolulu, to Hawaii, but to fly from Syracuse to Hawaii would have cost me more than flying Syracuse, Minneapolis, Seattle, renting a car, driving to Olympia, running a marathon, driving back to Seattle, and then flying Seattle, San Francisco, and then San Francisco, Honolulu. By breaking the trip that way, I ended up paying less than flying direct and ran a marathon in the process. This is a poorly unfocused, is it? We'll see. I do not recommend flying into an airport, renting a car, running a marathon and driving back to the airport and hopping on the plane to finish the trip. Okay. If for some reason picture was out of focus, now we are very nicely focused. Thank you for the nice comment. OMJPKB. Bill, you have heard my story. I ran the North Shore of Oahu marathon from my Hawaii, and then that was on a Sunday. I drove directly from the marathon to the airport, and I got on a plane that would fly me direct from Honolulu to Washington, D.C., nonstop. That was the morning of the Boston Marathon bombing. I was on the plane, and when we landed, it was all over the screens, all over the monitors. But my people who have listened to what I'm saying, they knew I was running a marathon that weekend, and they did not know when they heard Boston whether I was there, and everybody was trying to call me to make sure I'm okay. And my cell phone was obviously turned off at 30-some thousand feet. So I spent much of that morning returning phone calls, phone messages. But that was, never mind the 10 hours on a plane overnight after running a marathon. Literally 2 hours after finishing, I was on the plane. And yes, Mr. Captain or Captain, I showered before getting on the plane. My daughter was stationed in Hawaii at the time. She was an army nurse at Tripler. She's at Landstuhl in Germany now. We may be running out of clusters soon. Stellarium. Well, there was a Navy captain sitting next to me who was going to Germany, and I had enough drink coupons. I bribed him with the drinks so we can switch seats, and I set my alarm to wake me up every hour so I can get up and walk the length of the plane and back. That's how I did it. Okay, we're going to throw in the Iris Nebula as soon as we're done with the clusters, because we have a break before NGC 6633 comes up. Iris is going to take a few minutes longer than others. There is this old 70-some-year-old stand-up comic. You reminded me of him, Bill. He said he went to the doctor thinking that he's suffering from arthritis, and his doctor told him, no, it's early onset rigor mortis. Don't know if John has had his tea yet, but I'm gonna go get mine. Be right back. Time for tea. Hello, Tariq. Don't know if you guys saw the cartoon during King Charles' visit to the US. They showed people throwing boxes of tea in Boston Harbor, and one of them saying to the other, I bet you in 250 years the king will come here to thank us. Not bad. We're starting to get some clouds from the west. So this was Messier 5. Gonna do Messier 10 and 12 and then hop over to C4. $18 degrees, that's okay, that's good. For some reason, the red light has been bleeding into the telescope lately. So the monitors are providing the bulk of the light. Let me show you what happens if I open a browser. That's how much brighter this gets. And if I go to a page that has even more light in it, we get even brighter. Dean, yeah, I just made Keurig tea. Actually, it's not that sophisticated. I use the Keurig to heat the water, and I put the tea bag into the teacup. And when you put the tea bag into a teacup and you put hot water, the teacup turns into a cup of tea. Exhibit A. Bill, do I even bother ask what that was? I thought so. Thank you. Bob, I got Starlink a few months ago when cable became fairly unreliable in the weather. And Starlink has been very, very good, with one exception. As many on this channel will testify, it's not good for streaming live because whenever I stop talking, which is not much, whenever I stop talking, it will start clicking, tick, 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 to fill in the void. I have been able to reproduce that fairly repeatedly and have not been able to find a solution or anyone suggesting why it's happening. I don't think so, Bill. They're done, they're gone. Graduation was last week. I may have to ask Grok or Gemini to write me a program to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, can someone confirm that you can still hear me and see me? I switched internet from cable to Starlink and looks like we did not lose the connection. That was a dangerous maneuver. Don't try it at home. We will see if that motorboat sound comes back. Hi, Chini. So when I got my Tesla just under a year ago, I tried to trick it into parking inside my garage, so I painted the parking spot inside the garage. It worked. When I open the garage and it sees the white lines, it goes straight and parks into that spot. And this is where AI becomes funny. Sometimes it backs in, other times it goes straight. We got a new firmware upgrade last week, and now it no longer wants to park inside the garage. It parks in the driveway and says, you can walk the rest of the way. We're done. For the handoff, Bill, I wanted to make sure that after I switched electronically from wired to wireless, I unplugged the cable also to make sure there is no chance of it accidentally bleeding. Well, it used to back out of the garage very smoothly, just straight out. Now, when I ask it to back out of the garage, the first thing it does is it turns the wheel in one direction and then spends the next 2 minutes steering back and forth, right and left to try to squeeze out of the garage instead of just backing out straight. And last trip to Oswego was funny because it could not find its way out of the parking lot, and it went 3 full rounds around the parking lot looking for the exit and could not find it, so I had to take over and get out of there. But in the grand scheme of things, my trip to Blacksburg and back, 1,348 miles. I only drove one of those miles, and autopilot drove the remaining 1,347 miles. Today it took me off the thruway because there was an accident and the road was blocked. I did not know it did. And it said, we're not going that way. Again, we go back to the very basic thing. It's not a Tesla thing, it's that the big automakers are ignoring the obvious. My car receives real-time police reports, traffic reports, and weather reports in real time all the time and makes navigation decisions accordingly, which there is no reason why every car could not do that. It has nothing to do with how many cameras you have on the car. Bob, it has saved me from multiple accidents already. On the very first day I had it, a deer jumped in front of the car. I did not see it behind the bushes. It saw it before I did, and it hit the brakes, and we did not hit the deer. I have a bad habit of demolishing cars by taking out deer at high speed. This time we did not. In the worst of winter, I hit an icy patch on the road. Yeah, I was driving normal speed, not thinking much of it, and hit an icy patch. Totally lost control. The four wheels were spinning in opposite directions. The steering wheel and the individual traction on the wheels, and it re-straightened the car in under 2 seconds, and other than having to change my pants, there was no harm done. Randy, we think so, but not yet. This may be doable here. It may remove this one. Not quite, almost. Yeah, not quite. Still there. All right, last cluster on the schedule. At least last Messier cluster. I'm going to see where our International Space Station is. (10:48), so we'll I don't know if I can find any target on the path of the International Space Station and put the scope on it so we see it, ruining the image. The DWARF engineers claim that their algorithm removes satellite trails. I'm gonna have to put that to the test soon. First, you saw the interview with that college student who asked if the sun is too hot for NASA to go to it, why don't they go at night? Hello, Triso. Bob, definitely not on college campuses. So in 10 minutes we should see International Space Station starting from around here and going up right behind Polaris and disappearing there. Bill, the thunderstorms should have cleared Minneapolis by now, and I think Jacob should be suffering from them. Jacob, are you still awake? Jeff, I've not tried PIP for that. I usually use PIP for planetary, have not used it for deep sky. And I've not had problems with Starlink when doing planetary imaging. Pretty much all the images that I take of planets, I'm taking them at high speed. Genie, yes, I have used PIP. I use it for general purpose processing. I use it for changing video sizes. I use it for changing frequencies or frame rates on videos. Yeah, PIP is a Swiss Army knife for me. I use it for pretty much anything and everything when it comes to video editing. Yeah, GIMP is the one I use, but I have not done any satellite trail removal with it. Will AI know how bright the International Space Station will be tonight? AI says we can expect magnitude of minus 0.8. Post, it's gonna start at 10:48 and end at 10:54. It should be starting from the corner here and going right around Polaris before it disappears around here. So considering that we have clouds now in this area, don't know if we will see it or not. I'm going to give us a fighting chance by increasing the magnitude. There we go, gain 400. It's going to make things a lot brighter. We'll go back to darker after it passes, but we'll see. All right, this concludes our Messier cluster journey. We're going to hop over to C4 while waiting for the NGC crowd to get high enough. This may be a bit too bright. They had clouds in the forecast, but after 1 a.m. looks like we're getting the clouds a bit sooner. Yeah, I can't see anything yet. Should be right behind or right above Polaris by now. There it is, up here. For those who have monitors bigger than a cell phone, you should be able to see it. Another 3 seconds, it's going to be right there. Yep. There's the International Space Station up in the top of the Skycam. You are 1 minute ahead, Bill. There it is. And this is the Chinese station, keeping an eye on it. Yeah, exactly as the path was projected. It should disappear around here. Yeah, we will see it. One more update and then it'll disappear. It goes into Earth shadow. Voila, it's gone. Bill, that appears to be a plane Yeah. We will redarken the sky a bit. In the meantime, the Iris Nebula is coming along. To do justice to the Iris Nebula, we're going to have to let it stack for at least 15 minutes, so we'll see. American Airlines. I did not think they were still in business. Once we are done with the Iris Nebula, we have NGC 6633, 6709, 6940, and 6823. And then it'll be tomorrow, and we'll hop onto the M16 crowd, M16, M17, M18. Good for you, Jeff. Congratulations. Miracles do happen indeed. Jeff, what's keeping me going right now is my stubbornness of getting to 100 marathons total. We're stalled at 88. We're going to attempt one in September. Just one bill left for KP. Look what we have. Yeah, it was very low. I heard it, I saw it, the plane. Hmm. Jeff, I have walked my fair share of marathons. Now I'm finally back running, so keeping fingers crossed. Van Crypt, welcome on board. Right now, these are 10 seconds per frame, and for the Iris Nebula, I'll probably go half an hour worth of stacking because it's a darker nebula. For the clusters that we did earlier, they were about 15 minutes each, 10 to 15 minutes. And for the much darker, like the Dark Shark Nebula, that one was 6 hours worth before we could see anything. So it depends on your target. Jeff and Jeannie, I'm going to show you a picture of Rosa Rosenberg. Hmm. It is not liking me. There we go. We met this lady at the start of the Blue Ridge Marathon last month. I ran it with my son. She is 79-year-old Rosa Rosenberg from California. She walked the entire half marathon with a cane, and there she is finishing it in 4 hours and 42 minutes. She's trying to walk a half marathon in all 50 states. She came from California to Virginia to walk this one. As we chatted with her at the start, my son, who was complaining about not being fit, I asked him, "What's your excuse now?" She is 79 years old, flew from California to Virginia to walk a half marathon on a cane. That's all. Actually, there is a better picture of her. There we go. Thanks, Jeff. Now, the beauty of the Iris Nebula is after it went supernova, created a lot of dust, and the dust is the reason why we don't see the stars behind it. And we're going to keep stacking and they'll start looking more and more like an iris. Jeannie, I tell you, that lady, Rosa, was a true inspiration. She had no doubt that she was going to be finishing that half marathon, and she did. Yes, indeed, John. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we do good with the insanity part. Well, Gina, I have good news. The channel just reached 5,500 subscribers, thanks to all of you guys. I appreciate the fact that you keep creating new YouTube accounts just so you can subscribe and increase my count. No, Bill went on KP. Well, Bob, thank you. You're one of the new folks that joined tonight, so we greatly appreciate it. I'm afraid the clouds are moving in on us from the west. Thanks, Jeff. We had tree saw TTV a bit earlier, and I missed a chance to tell you about my tree saw experience of the weekend. We had a very, very large tree, probably about 60 foot high, that came crashing down on another tree, and the impact was so violent that the crashing tree split in half and was dangling up in the air about 30 feet high. We're talking about an 18-inch trunk dangling in the air 30 feet high while wedged into another tree. So yours truly tried to cut it down with a chainsaw, hoping to bring them both down, and they did, except they both stood straight up, holding each other, hugging each other nicely, and not moving anywhere. That's when it was time to call the professionals. I had no interest in seeing a 30+ foot tree crash on me. And I learned the rule of the 95-15. Apparently 90% of all tree accidents happen within 5 feet of the trunk of the tree and within 15 seconds from the cut. So I did not want to try to be a statistic. Welcome back, Bill. In case you missed it, we have a new milestone. Voila. Thanks to tonight's newcomers, we reached 5,500 subscribers. Yeah, this time every year, for whatever reason, I have to inventory the trees that died during winter and determine which ones I'm cutting down and which ones I'm hiring somebody to cut down. Yeah, Toast, this one surprised me. They are local, about 10 miles from us out in the country. I called them on a Friday afternoon. He showed up Saturday morning, and by Saturday noon he had cut down both trees, both very large, very dangerous situation, and charged me only $300. I thought it was worth it. Bill, I have a Ryobi, a 14-inch battery operated, and I love it. It is good. We're going to give Iris another 3 or 4 minutes and then apply AI and then move on to my NGC selection. One common thing about those NGC targets is they're all big, in the 20 arc minute range, so almost the size of the moon. And we should be able by midnight, by Tuesday morning, to move on to the M16, M17 crowd. Yeah, insurance, home insurance will not pay you to take down a big tree, but they will pay you to fix the house when the tree falls on it. Yes, the Eagle Nebula and the Pillars of Creation, that'll be the first time this season. And then we'll be able to enjoy them for much of the summer, until we see Orion coming back. And then we'll have our Milky Way back. All right, let's denoise it. Jeff, why would they do that? Are they concerned about fires or trees falling on the house? So this is the Iris Nebula. Okay, NGC series. The Tweedledum cluster, also known as Captain Hook cluster, also known as Wasp Waste cluster, also known as Open cluster. John, I plan to be up till 1 a.m. I want to get to Messier 16 and 17. They are still too low right now. Thank you, John. Let me see how high M16 will be by midnight. Yeah, Eagle has not risen yet. Yeah, it'll be 12:30 before we can image, before it's high enough to be seen from here. But it'll be worth it. We'll do it before the next target, Jeff. John, sorry. Hello, Peeb. I shall give you, actually I posted the link earlier, but I'll give you the link again on a short 5-minute tutorial on how I do it. Peeb, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I use a tablet and I use screen copy to copy the tablet onto the laptop, and from there I use OBS Studio to do a display stream onto YouTube. Thank you. Join us often. We have a fun group of astronomers on this team, on this channel. And as you get to know us, you will see the same names over and over. What time zone are you watching us from? What part of the world? No, I do not have the 4K mode on the Seestar. So autofocus. Let's see how much it's going to change. Yeah, we're offering a free 1-year subscription if you subscribe tonight. That's always a good deal. Plus 10. What's this gonna buy me? All right, next one on the list is 6709. The Flying Unicorn Cluster. Yeah, Jeff, the forecast had promised that we should be good till 1 a.m., but this is a bit earlier than expected. This is what things are looking like at this point. Here you go. That's how bad it is. We are right here. See Pompey? Yeah, people, we are in Pompey, New York. This is Lake Ontario, our neighbor. Well, we're gonna hang in there to see which way the clouds are moving. Not good. There will be no Eagle Nebula tonight. Jeff, I finally have the two feeds mounted on the same dish. I've not tested them yet. We don't get much Milky Way lately, but as soon as we get that going, we should be able to go back at multiple wavelengths at the same time. I'm anxious to see what I'll get at the 1.665 gigahertz next to the 1.42. Looking at astrospheric. Tomorrow does not look promising. but Wednesday seems like a possibility. +2 international. Too bad this one does not come closer. Yeah, if we have a good International Space Station pass, we'll put the big scope out to try to have fun with it again. So let's make a tentative date for Wednesday night. Yeah, Jeff, that's the plan, H&L. I have DBE turned on, or did it turn off when we switched? Turned it off when we switched to 4K. There you go. Just as a reminder that Wednesday evening there will be an attempted launch of Starship 3. Bill, that is a bit taller than a Boeing 747 standing up on its tail. And you may have heard that there is a strong rumor that Elon purchased 134,000 acres on the Louisiana coast to turn it into another space station, essentially, or space launch site. The big plan is to launch 1,000 Starship 3s per year from 3 sites. So each of them will be launching one a day. Just want to show you an interesting picture. I don't know if you can visualize what's going on here, but this is Starship being moved by land, and this is a line of cars behind it. Good night, Zena. Thanks for joining us. And as you guys probably know, we were one of the early adopters of Starship here. So yeah, this is humongous. Those you can see them from Alabama. Or do you drive closer? This is a question for AI. How tall is Starship 3 compared to the SLS that launched? It is 85 feet taller. We have sarcasm joining this channel. We don't get much sarcasm around here. So I'm looking at the pay package that SpaceX, the compensation package for Elon Musk. It says he will get 200 million super voting shares if SpaceX reaches 7.5 trillion market valuation and establishes a permanent colony on Mars consisting of at least 1 million residents. You do the math. If he pays each of these $1 million to go to Mars, he will still be making out like a bandit, because 1 million people getting $1 million each is only a trillion, and he stands to get about 3 trillion from that. So that's not a bad deal. Now the question is, will you go to Mars if you're given $1 million to leave behind here? Because I don't think they're going to take dollars on Mars. All right, 6940 next. It is one-way trip. I don't know if the IRS can reach them there. This is 6940. I've been to Hawaii, Jeannie. Haven't been to Mars, though. Whenever I went to Honolulu, and I did that a lot when my daughter was stationed there, I would run from Waikiki all the way up to Diamond Head and back, and then stop at the Starbucks. They used to serve date nut muffins that weighed, a few pounds each, with a venti cappuccino and a banana as my after run energy. What's going on with Seestar? Yeah, I saw that. The jury ruling. Seestar is not happy. Okay, there we go. One time I landed not knowing it was the Honolulu Marathon, and the following morning I went out for a run, and they were cleaning up the mess from the marathon of the day before, and somebody asked me, "Are you finishing?" So I would have taken me about 28 hours to finish. Yeah, I must have gone to Hawaii at least 7 or 8 times, including, and this is where you guys will be jealous of me, a trip to the Air Force telescope on the top of Maui. That thing has a massive mirror, and under the mirror there are 256 plungers with supercomputers to keep the mirror properly focused. So they aim it at a specific star and adjust it for perfect focus. After the Columbia tragedy, the space shuttle, it became a practice that every space shuttle launch will pass over Maui so that radar will, so that that telescope, I should say, would look at it and examine the tile situation. The cord wrap has been solved with the latest firmware update. The Haystack Observatory in Massachusetts, that's an MIT observatory, they have a spring open house, which is next week, and they announced that the tickets went on sale and they sold out in under 2 hours. By the time I saw the notice and I jumped on to buy a ticket, they were gone. But the trip down to Greenbank Observatory to look at the big scope is starting to take shape. I will very likely head down there sometime next month. Jeff, when I go outside to look at the sky, there is no mistaking the clouds. I recognize them very easily. 6940 is another interesting cluster. Oh, good. Yeah, we're trying to hang on to the Adirondacks as a dark sky area. Okay, in case you guys did not notice, it's Tuesday already here for some of us. John, this might be good news. I'm up now from 28 cents a day to about 33 cents a day. So must be all those ads. Thank you, guys. And this does not include what the IRS will take and what New York State will take. Good night, Jeannie. If we don't see you back, good luck. Where do you fly into, Bill? What's the nearest airport to the Organ Pipe Cactus? Okay, not too bad. I ran my Arizona Marathon in Tucson. I told you, Bill, that the race director is the wife of a former now Delta captain by the last name Unjem, U-N-J-E-M. I got to know him very well. All right, time to hop onto 69 6823. I don't know that AI will do much here. It went from 20 seconds for AI to 80 seconds now that we have dithering and X2. You think so? I'll take a look at it, John, in a minute. Yeah, we definitely have gradient here. No, it's still on. It's still turned on. The red bars here suggest that yeah, it is still on. DBE is still on. $68.23. This one seems to have nebulosity around it, the target. It is still stacking, so we will attempt to go for M16 in about 15 minutes. Hello, Rodney. Not much to this cluster. Is that a British book, John? Oh, the clouds are interfering, all right. John, the book seems to be a candidate for an AI implementation. Okay, so they have it. Yeah, this should be an interesting book. And the last one in this series is 6811. And then we will hop over to M16. So right now we are somewhere around here is our target. No, I'm done with espresso. Well, I'll be starting again at espresso in a few hours. Good night, Bill. See you next time. This cluster has interesting colors in it. Not this morning, Jeff. I'm gonna pass. Thank you, though. Yeah, the plan right now is to sign off at 1. There's a plane. If the clouds allow us to make it till 1. Your next target will be M16. We're going to go for the Eagle at this point. Let's see if we can get it. Sleep is good, Rodney. All right, time to go for the eagle. Yeah, there are some good breaks, Jeff. We're keeping our fingers crossed. But they are very thick to the west, and we're sticking with imaging to the east. Not good, image is drifting. Ladies and gentlemen, it sounds like we are calling it a night. Yeah, the clouds have taken over now. It is stacking but not showing anything. It has enough stars to plate solve, but not enough data to show anything useful. Well, good to get you back, Jeff.